My sister got fired. Again? Daniel grinned, pausing just enough for the crowd to anticipate the punchline. Maybe stick to stripping? The room erupted. Even Dad, in his pressed navy suit, chuckled, lifting his glass. At least she's good at that. That one didn't just cut, it burned. And while their laughter swelled, mine stayed trapped in my chest, a quiet thing curling into something sharper. I didn't drop my gaze. I didn't even blink. Because behind them, at the entrance, he walked in. The CEO. Eyes locked on me. And for the first time all night, the room felt cold. Daniel and I used to be close, or at least I thought so. When we were kids, I covered for him. Late report cards, broken windows, the kind of trouble that disappears if someone loves you enough to lie. He paid me back in little ways, a shared laugh, an arm slung over my shoulder, saying, "That's my sister," like it meant something. But love curdles quietly. It wasn't one moment, it was a pattern. The subtle digs that became public jokes. The way Dad compared my every choice to his. The time Daniel called me dead weight in front of his friends, thinking I'd laugh it off. I should have left years ago. But family makes you foolish, and foolishness makes you vulnerable. The firing was the tipping point. I'd been working in marketing for a small firm. Good numbers, solid campaigns, until the client list shifted. Suddenly, half the accounts were pulled. Mine, all of them. The boss wouldn't meet my eyes when he told me, just said it wasn't working out. Later, I learned why. A forwarded email. From Daniel. She's unreliable. I wouldn't risk client relationships with her on the team. It was casual, throwaway, but in corporate politics, a whisper is a weapon, and he knew exactly where to aim. The night I read that email, I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I didn't call him. I started a list. Names, connections, every person he'd wronged, every bridge he'd burned while Dad propped him up. Every woman he slept with and discarded, every deal he inflated numbers on, every reckless gamble disguised as bold strategy. Daniel thought I was scattered, but I am patient, and patience turns hurt into precision. The plan took 6 months. I knew his weakness, attention. If you gave him a stage, he'd dance until the floor gave way. I fed him information. Through a friend in a competing firm, I leaked a deal that looked like gold but was hollow underneath. Numbers dressed up to sparkle just long enough. Daniel bit, pitched it to the board, called it his vision. I made sure the right people saw him bragging before the ink was dry. Meanwhile, I sent quiet packages. Anonymous, untraceable. Copies of expense reports to compliance. Screenshots of texts to his wife that weren't meant for her. An unsigned note to Dad with bank statements he wouldn't ignore. And tonight was the finale. Daniel's promotion party. The deal that would change the company forever. The room dressed in gold and glass, all eyes on him. Until the CEO walked in. The chatter dipped, then died entirely. He didn't smile, didn't even look at Daniel. Daniel, my office, now. My brother blinked. "It's my party?" The CEO's voice cut clean through him. Now. Daniel glanced around, searching for an ally. Dad's glass was frozen halfway to his lips. The crowd avoided his eyes. I stepped forward, met the CEO halfway. He didn't speak, just handed me a folder. Inside, a contract. My name in bold. The position Daniel thought was his stepping stone. The CEO's voice was low, but loud enough for the nearest table to hear. "We need someone trustworthy to clean up this mess." Daniel didn't come back to the party, but the whispers did. Fraud, misuse of funds, harassment complaints, the kind of words that stick to a name long after the truth stops mattering. Dad didn't meet my eyes when I left. He didn't have to. I'd seen the look. Recognition, then something sour. The beginning of respect. Or maybe just fear. I didn't gloat. I didn't post about it. Revenge works best in silence, because silence makes people fill in the gaps themselves. Daniel lost the job, the deal, the marriage, the apartment in under a month. I got the title, the office with the view, the power to make sure he never worked in the industry again. Sometimes, late at night, I think about the look on his face when the CEO called him out. Not shock, not even anger, confusion, like he couldn't imagine a world where I could win. That's the thing about people like Daniel. They never see you coming, until you're the last thing they see.